What if you woke up tomorrow and realized that the time you have left before 2026 could be the turning point of your entire life? What if these next few months were not just days on a calendar, but the doorway to the person you've always wanted to become? Think about it. How many times have you told yourself that someday you'll make a change, that someday you'll finally take control, that someday you'll break free from the habits holding you back? But here's the truth. Someday is running out. The years slip by faster than we expect, and before we know it, the chance we thought we had is gone. The question isn't whether change is possible. The real question is whether you're willing to make the decision now while there's still time to shape the life you've always dreamed of. Deep down, you already know what's at stake. You know the frustration of staying the same, of watching yourself repeat the same cycles year after year. You know the quiet regret of wanting more but not pushing yourself far enough to claim it. You know the exhaustion of living below your potential, of feeling like you're meant for more but not quite stepping into that reality. That inner voice that whispers to you late at night isn't wrong. It's telling you there's more out there, that you're capable of far greater things than you allowed yourself to believe. And the closer we move toward 2026, the louder that voice becomes, because it knows the time for waiting is over. Imagine what it would feel like to look back 1 year from today and see a completely different version of yourself in the mirror. Imagine standing in 2026 knowing you didn't waste these precious months, but used them to build a stronger, wiser, braver, more disciplined you. Imagine the pride of knowing you didn't let fear or doubt write your story. You did. That possibility is real, and it belongs to you, but only if you choose to step forward now. Every powerful transformation starts with a decision, and the most powerful decision you can make is to refuse to stay the same. Staying with me in this journey will give you more than just motivation. It will give you a roadmap, not vague ideas, not empty hype, but clear, practical steps that, if followed, will completely shift your life's direction before the next year arrives. You'll discover the things most people ignore until it's too late. You'll see how to rise above the distractions, how to break free from what's been holding you down, and how to set yourself up not just for temporary success, but for a lifetime of growth and strength. This isn't about small improvements. It's about a total reset, a chance to finally align who you are with who you want to be. You've already taken the first step by being here, by choosing to listen instead of letting another moment pass. That means something. It means part of you is ready. And as you move through what comes next, you'll see that every lesson, every challenge, every truth revealed is building towards something bigger, your transformation. Stay with me until the end, because the reward waiting for you is clarity, courage, and the unshakable conviction that 2026 will not be just another year. It will be the year you changed everything. The reason so many people never change their lives is not because they lack the ability. It's because they wait. They wait for the right moment, the perfect plan, the guarantee of success before they move. But that moment never comes. Life will never line up perfectly. The stars won't arrange themselves in a way that makes everything effortless. Waiting is the silent thief of dreams. Every day you wait, you hand over another piece of your potential. You surrender another chance to become who you were meant to be. The truth is harsh but freeing. There will never be a perfect time, but there will always be a right time, and that time is now. Think about the cost of hesitation. Think about the days you let slip away because fear told you it wasn't safe to begin. Think about the opportunities you missed because doubt whispered that you weren't ready. Those moments are gone forever, and they will not return. But today is different. Today still belongs to you. This moment right now is the only ground you stand on. What you choose in this space between hesitation and action is what defines your future. Waiting has already taken enough from you. It's time to stop letting it steal what's left. Inside every person is a reservoir of untapped strength. It sits quietly beneath the surface, hidden by excuses and distractions, but it's there. You felt glimpses of it before. Moments when you surprised yourself with courage. Moments when you endured more than you thought you could. Moments when you caught a vision of the life you could live. That wasn't an accident. That was your true self breaking through the noise, reminding you of the power you carry. If you've ever felt that spark, know this: it was real and is waiting for you to act on it. The life you want doesn't require you to become someone else. It requires you to uncover the person you already are and let them lead. Every meaningful transformation begins with a single act of courage. Not 100 steps, not a complicated strategy, but one bold decision that says, I refuse to keep living small. That decision is like a key. It unlocks doors you never thought possible. The fear doesn't vanish, but you learn that fear doesn't own you. The doubts don't disappear, but you discover they don't define you. Once you take that first brave step, momentum builds, and every step after becomes easier because you've already proven to yourself that you can move forward despite the weight of resistance. If you've been waiting for a sign, this is it. If you've been searching for permission, here it is. You don't need to ask life to change. You need to decide that you will change, and life will follow your lead. Don't underestimate the power of a single day lived with intention. One day of clarity can shift your path. One day of discipline can break a chain. One day of courage can alter the course of your future. Imagine stringing those days together. Imagine what your life will look like when you stop waiting and start building. Not tomorrow, not next month, but today. The clock is ticking, but not against you. It's ticking for you. Every second is a chance to rewrite your story. Every hour is an opening to create the future you've been dreaming of. The only question is whether you will take it, because once you choose to stop waiting, once you decide to step into your strength, you will discover what has been true all along. You were never lacking. You were only hesitating. And hesitation ends here. Clarity is the foundation of every lasting change. Without it, you drift, moving through life without direction, reacting instead of creating. You might work hard, you might stay busy, but without clarity, your energy scatters in 100 directions and leaves you drained without progress. That's why the first breakthrough you must claim before 2026 is absolute clarity on who you are becoming and what matters most. Because without a clear vision, your mind will default to survival, to comfort, to staying the same. But with clarity, everything shifts. Decisions become easier. Priorities fall into place. Distractions lose their grip. Ask yourself a question most people avoid. What do you truly want? Not what others expect from you. Not what feels safe. Not what would earn the approval of those around you. Strip away the noise. What do you, in your heart, want your life to look like? The answer may scare you. It may feel too big, too unrealistic, too different from the life you're living now. But that fear is proof you found something real, because true vision always stretches beyond your comfort zone. True vision awakens a fire inside you that refuses to be ignored. When you picture 2026, what do you see? Do you see yourself healthier, stronger, more disciplined? Do you see yourself free from the habits that keep you stuck? Do you see yourself in control of your time, your energy, your choices? Or do you see the same version of yourself, trapped in the same cycle, still wishing, still waiting, still making excuses? The vision you choose to hold will become your reality because the mind follows direction. What you focus on expands. If you focus on problems, you magnify them. If you focus on your vision, you create momentum toward it. Clarity doesn't just give you goals. It gives you a reason to endure. Change is not easy. There will be resistance, setbacks, and days when quitting seems tempting. If your only motivation is comfort or convenience, you will give up. But if your motivation is rooted in a vision that sets your soul on fire, you will persist no matter how heavy the struggle feels. A clear vision turns pain into fuel. It makes sacrifice meaningful. It transforms effort into purpose. That is why clarity must come first, because without it, you will run out of strength before you reach the finish line. Take a moment to feel the weight of this truth. Your life is being shaped right now by what you choose to focus on. If you carry vague desires, you will get vague results. If you carry clear, burning vision, you will move mountains. The world has never been changed by indecision. It has only been changed by people who knew what they wanted and refused to stop until it became real. And you are no different. The power to define your future is already inside you. You simply need to decide what that future looks like, then commit every action to building it. Do not underestimate the force of clarity. It is not just a plan written on paper. It is a declaration to yourself and to life itself that you will not drift anymore. It is a line drawn in the sand. It is the moment you stop being a passenger and start being the driver. Once you claim that level of clarity, distractions lose their power, excuses lose their voice, and fear loses its control. With clarity, you step into authority, and with authority, you create a life worth living. Clarity gives you direction, but discipline is what turns that direction into reality. Without discipline, vision fades into daydreams, and dreams dissolve into regret. Discipline is not about perfection. It is about persistence. It is the ability to do what must be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. It is the silent force that builds strength in the background while the world is still asleep. Discipline is what separates those who talk about change from those who live it. It is the bridge between intention and transformation. Most people avoid discipline because they confuse it with restriction. They think it means giving up freedom, cutting off joy, or living under constant pressure. But the opposite is true. Lack of discipline is the real prison. It traps you in cycles of procrastination, exhaustion, and disappointment. Discipline, on the other hand, is liberation. It gives you control over your choices, your habits, your future. It frees you from being ruled by impulse and allows you to live aligned with your vision. Every act of discipline is an act of self-respect, a declaration that you value your future enough to make strong decisions today. The challenge is that discipline feels uncomfortable at first. Waking up earlier than you want to, saying no to distractions, holding yourself accountable, these things don't feel easy. Your mind will resist. It will tell you that you deserve comfort, that you can start tomorrow, that skipping one effort won't matter. This is where most people fail. They listen to that voice and surrender. But the truth is, every time you resist temptation and choose discipline, you grow stronger. Every small victory builds resilience. Every act of self-control rewires your identity, shaping you into the kind of person who doesn't just chase goals, but achieves them. Think about how powerful that is. Every choice is a vote for the person you want to become. Each time you stay consistent, even in the smallest way, you cast another vote for your future. Skipping a workout is not just missing exercise, it's a vote against your strength. Ignoring your plan is not just losing a day, it's a vote against your growth. But when you choose discipline, when you honor your commitments, you are casting daily votes for your transformation. Over time, those votes add up and the identity you build becomes unshakable. There will be days when motivation feels distant, when the fire inside seems dim. On those days, discipline will carry you. Motivation is fleeting, but discipline is reliable. Motivation waits for inspiration, but discipline acts regardless. And once you understand that, you stop relying on feelings and start relying on commitment. The most successful people are not the ones who always feel motivated. They are the ones who stay disciplined when motivation fades. That is what creates unstoppable momentum. Imagine walking into 2026 knowing you didn't just dream about change. You built it step by step through consistent discipline. Imagine looking back at every choice you made and feeling the pride of knowing you kept your word to yourself. That is the reward discipline gives you. Not just external success, but inner strength. Not just results others can see, but self-trust no one can take away. Discipline is the engine of transformation, and once it becomes part of who you are, nothing can stop the life you are creating. Discipline sharpens your actions, but energy is what fuels them. Without energy, even the clearest vision and strongest commitment collapse under the weight of exhaustion. Your body and mind are not separate from your goals. They are the foundation that makes progress possible. When you neglect your health, when you trade rest for endless distraction, when you feed yourself junk and wonder why you feel weak, you rob yourself of the very power you need to rise. Energy is not a luxury, it is the engine of transformation. If you want to reach 2026 as your strongest self, you must learn to protect and elevate your energy like your life depends on it. Because it does. Every choice you make either charges or drains your energy. What you eat, how you move, how you sleep, what you focus on, all of it matters. It's not about chasing perfection. It's about respect. Respecting your body enough to give it what it needs. Respecting your mind enough to shield it from constant noise. Respecting your future enough to prepare your vessel for the challenges ahead. Most people overlook this because they think success comes only from willpower. But the truth is, willpower is fragile when your energy is low. A tired, unfocused mind cannot carry the weight of transformation. But a body that is fueled, a mind that is rested, a spirit that is nourished, this is a force that can endure any storm. Your habits around energy are not just physical, they are deeply psychological. Sleep is not just about rest, it's about mental clarity. Movement is not just about muscles, it's about confidence and emotional strength. Nutrition is not just about calories, it's about discipline and self-respect. When you treat your energy with intention, you don't just feel better. You think sharper, you act faster, you recover stronger. Every area of your life begins to rise when your energy rises. The more energy you have, the more disciplined you can be. the clearer your vision becomes and the more unstoppable your momentum grows. Think about how many goals you've set in the past that slipped away not because you didn't care, but because you ran out of energy to follow through. Think about how many times your dreams were buried under fatigue, distraction, or burnout. That cycle ends when you decide that protecting your energy is non-negotiable. Imagine what your days would look like if you woke up rested, if your mind was sharp, if your body was strong, if your spirit felt alive. Imagine the difference in how you would show up and how you would speak and how you would fight for your goals. That version of you is not a fantasy. It's the natural result of aligning your life to protect your energy. Transformation is not only about pushing harder, it's about sustaining yourself long enough to see the change through. Burnout is not a badge of honor. It is a warning sign. The goal is not to grind yourself into the ground, but to build yourself up into someone unbreakable. That begins with energy. When you nurture it, you create a foundation strong enough to support everything else you want. With vision guiding you, discipline shaping you, and energy fueling you, you step into 2026 not as someone barely surviving, but as someone fully alive, fully capable, fully ready to own the life you've been dreaming of. Energy gives you the fuel, but focus determines where that fuel takes you. Without focus, even the strongest drive scatters in 1,000 directions, leaving you busy but not effective, moving but not advancing. Focus is the discipline of the mind. It is the ability to say no to the noise, no to the distractions, no to the endless pool of things that do not matter. In a world filled with constant notifications, endless scrolling, and distractions designed to hijack your attention, focus has become one of the rarest and most valuable powers you can develop. It is not just about productivity, it is about freedom. The freedom to control where your attention goes and, by extension, the freedom to control the life you create. When your focus is weak, your future is weak. You cannot build greatness if your attention is divided across everything and committed to nothing. Every unfinished project, every half-hearted attempt, every abandoned goal, these are the casualties of lost focus. But when you sharpen your mind, when you give your attention fully to what matters, you unlock a force that multiplies your progress. Hours of scattered effort cannot match the results of a single hour of deep, intentional focus. Your ability to concentrate determines how far and how fast you move. Focus is not just about eliminating distractions. It is about choosing priorities. You cannot say yes to everything and expect to grow. Every yes carries a cost. Every time you give your attention to something meaningless, you steal time from what matters most. That is why you must decide what truly deserves your focus. Is it your growth, your health, your craft, your relationships, your future? When you decide, when you anchor your attention to what builds you, life starts to change. Opportunities that once seemed invisible appear. Progress that once felt impossible begins to accelerate. The mind naturally resists focus. It craves novelty, constant stimulation, and quick rewards. That is why focus must be trained like a muscle. The more you practice it, the stronger it becomes. Each time you resist the urge to check distractions, each time you redirect your attention back to the task, you strengthen your mental resilience. Over time, what once felt difficult becomes natural. Focus shifts from being a struggle to being a state of flow, and in that flow, you discover what you are truly capable of. Think about the power of living each day with full attention. Imagine giving your best energy to the work that matters, the habits that shape you, the goals that define your future. Imagine shutting out the noise long enough to build something real, something lasting. That is the gift focus gives you, the ability to turn fleeting moments into lasting transformation. Most people will drift into 2026 carrying the same distractions that have held them back for years. But you don't have to. You can choose to live with intention. You can choose to give your energy to what builds you instead of what drains you. Focus is more than a habit. It is a decision you make every moment. To control your attention is to control your destiny. Every time you claim your focus, you are taking your power back from the world that tries to steal it. You are declaring that your life is too important to waste. And once you begin living with that kind of focus, you will discover a momentum so powerful that nothing can stand in the way of the future you are creating. Focus sharpens your path, but courage is what moves your feet forward when the path becomes uncertain. Fear will always appear when you step into something greater. It whispers that you are not ready, that you might fail, that others will judge you. Fear thrives on hesitation, and the longer you wait, the stronger it grows. But courage does not mean the absence of fear. It means moving forward despite it. Every breakthrough you seek lies on the other side of discomfort, and courage is the bridge that takes you there. Fear convinces many people to stay small, to settle for less, to silence their dreams before they even begin. It feels safe to avoid risk, to hide behind excuses, to remain in the familiar. But safety has a cost, and that cost is your potential. If you trade courage for comfort, you end up living a life that feels smaller than the one you were created for. You carry the weight of regret, wondering what might have happened if only you had been brave enough to act. Regret is heavier than fear, and the only way to avoid it is to step into courage now, before time runs out. Courage is not only for extraordinary moments. It is required in the ordinary decisions of everyday life. It takes courage to be disciplined when your mind urges you to quit. It takes courage to focus when distractions pull at you from every direction. It takes courage to protect your energy when the world pushes you to exhaust yourself. And it takes courage to hold on to your vision when no one else believes in it yet. These acts of courage may feel small in the moment, but each one builds strength. They stack up, brick by brick, until you have built a foundation strong enough to carry the life you desire. Courage rewires your identity. Each time you act in spite of fear, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than doubt, stronger than hesitation, stronger than the limitations you once believed defined you. You begin to see yourself differently, not as someone who hides, but as someone who rises. That shift in identity is powerful, because once you see yourself as courageous, you begin to live in ways that reflect it. You take risks, you pursue growth, you move with conviction. And life responds to that energy by opening doors that fear once kept closed. Imagine looking back at the end of this year and seeing a trail of courageous decisions behind you. Imagine the pride of knowing you didn't let fear silence your potential, that you moved forward even when the outcome wasn't guaranteed. That kind of courage transforms not just your results, but your soul. It fills you with confidence, with strength, with a deep, unshakable trust in yourself. And that trust is priceless. Because once you know you can rely on yourself to act with courage, nothing can stop you from creating the life you envision. Courage is the force that turns vision into reality, discipline into consistency, energy into momentum, and focus into achievement. Without it, everything stalls. With it, everything accelerates. The life you want is waiting beyond the walls fear has built around you. And the moment you choose to act with courage, those walls begin to crumble. What once felt impossible begins to feel inevitable. And as you walk forward with courage in your heart, you will discover that the future you desire is not just a dream. It is within your reach, ready for you to claim. Courage opens the door, but consistency is what keeps you walking through it day after day. A single act of bravery can change a moment, but repeated acts of discipline and persistence change a life. Most people start strong when excitement is high, but they fade when the novelty wears off. They underestimate the power of steady, consistent action. Yet consistency is the invisible force that compounds results until the extraordinary feels inevitable. It is not about intensity for a day, but about dedication for a lifetime. Consistency is what transforms effort into identity. Every time you show up, even in the smallest way, you reinforce the truth that you are someone who follows through. That truth sinks deeper into your mind with every repetition until it becomes a core part of who you are. You no longer have to force yourself to act because it has become natural, automatic, aligned with your very sense of self. This is why consistency is more powerful than bursts of inspiration. It shapes you at the level of identity, not just behavior. But the mind resists repetition. It wants quick rewards, fast progress, instant proof that the effort is worth it. And when results don't appear immediately, most people quit. They tell themselves it's not working, that change is too hard, that maybe it's just not meant for them. This is the trap that has kept millions stuck in cycles of almost starting, almost changing, almost becoming. What they fail to realize is that progress is slow at first because transformation takes root beneath the surface before it shows on the outside. The seeds you plant with consistent effort are growing even when you cannot see them. And if you trust the process long enough, they eventually break through into undeniable results. Every act of consistency carries weight. Waking up early one day doesn't change much, but waking up early for weeks shifts your rhythm, strengthens your discipline, and rewrites the way you see yourself. Choosing to train once won't transform your body, but training day after day, month after month will. Writing a page one time won't make you an author, but writing every day for a year can produce a book. This is the law of compounding. Small, repeated actions create massive, life-altering change. Consistency is also where trust is built. Each time you follow through on your promises to yourself, you prove that your word has value. And when you can trust yourself, confidence rises. You no longer question whether you will keep going because it is simply who you are. That kind of self-trust is unshakable, and it is one of the most powerful gifts you can carry into 2026. Because when you believe in your own reliability, you stop waiting for motivation or luck. You know the outcome is guaranteed because you know you will not stop until it becomes real. Imagine arriving in the future with a record of daily victories behind you. Imagine the pride of knowing you didn't give up when it was inconvenient, that you showed up over and over again, regardless of circumstances. That is the reward consistency gives you. A life built not on fleeting moments of intensity, but on an unbreakable foundation of persistence. Consistency turns ordinary people into extraordinary examples of what is possible. And once it becomes your way of life, nothing can take away the transformation you have built because it was not created in a single day. It was forged every day. Consistency builds strength, but adaptability ensures survival. Life will never unfold in a straight line. No matter how clear your vision is or how disciplined your actions are, unexpected challenges will come. Plans will break, obstacles will appear, circumstances will shift without warning. Many people collapse under these changes because they cling to how things were supposed to be. They waste energy resisting reality instead of adjusting to it. Adaptability is the mindset that keeps you moving forward even when the ground beneath you changes. It is not about avoiding struggle, it's about learning how to bend without breaking. Adaptability requires humility. It demands that you let go of the illusion of control and accept that you cannot predict everything. But humility does not mean weakness. It means wisdom. It means you are strong enough to admit when a strategy isn't working, brave enough to pivot, and committed enough to stay in the game no matter how the rules shift. The most resilient people are not those who never face setbacks, but those who refuse to let setbacks define them. They rise, they adjust, and they keep moving. That is the essence of adaptability. Fear often resists change because the unknown feels dangerous. The mind prefers routine, even if the routine is destructive, because it feels familiar. But growth is impossible without change, and change is impossible without discomfort. Adaptability is the choice to embrace discomfort as a teacher rather than an enemy. It is a decision to see obstacles as opportunities for creativity, problems as puzzles to be solved, and detours as training grounds for resilience. With adaptability, nothing becomes wasted. Not your failures, not your struggles, not your unexpected turns. Everything becomes fuel for transformation. When you learn to adapt, you stop fearing failure. Failure is no longer the end of the road, but simply information, feedback pointing you toward a better way. Every misstep becomes a lesson. Every obstacle becomes a stepping stone. This mindset frees you from paralysis because you no longer need perfect certainty before taking action. You understand that progress is not about flawless execution, but about constant adjustment. And the more you adapt, the more unstoppable you become. Because nothing can corner you. You will always find a way forward. Think about how different your future could look if you approached every challenge with adaptability instead of resistance. Imagine facing setbacks with calm determination, knowing they cannot stop you, but can only redirect you towards something better. Imagine carrying the unshakable belief that no matter what happens, you will rise, you will learn, you will move forward. That mindset makes you dangerous to limitation because it removes the one weapon life often uses to stop people: discouragement. When you are adaptable, discouragement loses its grip. Adaptability is not about abandoning your vision. It is about protecting it. It is about being so committed to your outcome that you are willing to change your method as many times as it takes. The mountain remains the same, but the path may shift. And when you are adaptable, no storm, no detour, no obstacle can stop you from climbing. You remain flexible in approach, but unshakable in purpose. That is how transformation is achieved. That is how you ensure that by 2026, no matter what life throws at you, you will not only endure, you will emerge stronger, sharper, and more unstoppable than ever before. Adaptability gives you strength in uncertain times, but environment determines whether that strength continues to grow or slowly fades away. You cannot rise to your highest potential while surrounded by people, places, and habits that pull you backward. Environment is more powerful than willpower. It shapes your mindset, influences your emotions, and either reinforces your growth or sabotages it silently. If you want to change your life before 2026, you must take full control of the environment you place yourself in every single day. Look closely at the people around you. Do they inspire you to be disciplined, focused, and courageous, or do they encourage complacency, distraction, and comfort? Human behavior is contagious. Attitudes spread, beliefs spread, habits spread. If you surround yourself with people who think small, who constantly complain, who settle for mediocrity, you will unconsciously absorb their energy. But if you surround yourself with people who challenge you, who push you, who live with passion and conviction, you will rise to match their standard. Your environment is a mirror reflecting who you are becoming. Choose carefully what it shows you. Environment is not only about people, it is about the physical spaces you inhabit. A cluttered space breeds a cluttered mind. A chaotic routine breeds a chaotic spirit. Your surroundings should support your discipline, not fight against it. The simplest changes, organizing your space, limiting distractions, designing routines that align with your vision, create momentum. When your environment makes it easier to succeed, success begins to feel inevitable. The most dangerous environments are not always obvious. Sometimes they look comfortable, familiar, even safe. But comfort can be a trap. If your surroundings never challenge you, never stretch you, never remind you of what you're capable of, then they are quietly stealing your potential. Growth requires friction. You need to be in spaces that stretch you, that demand your best, that remind you daily of who you are becoming. Place yourself in environments that match your vision, not your excuses. This may require difficult choices. You may have to step away from people who don't understand your journey. You may have to release habits that once felt harmless but are now barriers to your growth. You may have to leave behind environments that no longer align with who you are becoming. It will not be easy, but it will be necessary. Because transformation cannot survive in an environment that feeds your old self. If you want to rise higher, you must create space where your higher self can breathe. Imagine walking into 2026 surrounded by energy that fuels you instead of drains you. Imagine having people around you who push you to grow, spaces around you that support your discipline, habits around you that reinforce your vision. That is the power of environment. It either accelerates your growth or anchors you to the past. The choice is yours. By shaping your environment with intention, you remove unnecessary resistance and create conditions where transformation becomes natural. You don't have to fight alone when your environment fights with you. Build spaces that make discipline automatic. Build relationships that make courage natural. Build habits that make growth inevitable. Once your environment aligns with your vision, every day becomes an opportunity to step further into the person you are destined to become. And when that alignment is in place, nothing can hold you back because everything around you is working in your favor. Clarity of vision is what gives direction to your energy. Without it, even the strongest effort becomes scattered and weak. A life without vision drifts from one distraction to another, always busy yet rarely fulfilled. But a life built on vision has power. It has momentum. It has meaning. If you want to change your life before 2026, you must decide exactly what you are moving toward. You must define your future so clearly that it pulls you forward with relentless force, even on the hardest days. Most people live by default, reacting to circumstances, waiting for opportunities, and hoping things improve. But waiting is the language of stagnation. Growth does not happen by chance, it happens by choice. When you create a clear vision, you stop living as a passenger in your own life and step into the role of driver. You take ownership, you choose a destination. You stop being controlled by what happens around you, because your focus is fixed on what you are creating within you. A vision is not just a wish. It is not vague, shallow, or uncertain. A true vision is sharp and detailed. You can see it in your mind. You can feel it in your body. It excites you and scares you at the same time. It stretches you beyond where you are, but it feels undeniably real. That is the kind of vision that changes everything. Because once you see it clearly, your brain begins working to close the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Suddenly, decisions become easier, distractions lose their power, and discipline feels purposeful instead of forced. Clarity of vision strengthens resilience. When you know why you're fighting, you can endure almost anything. Challenges stop feeling like punishments and start feeling like preparation. Setbacks stop breaking you and start shaping you. The clearer your vision, the stronger your resolve. And that strength is exactly what you will need. Because transformation is never smooth, never easy, never predictable. Vision is the anchor that keeps you steady through the storm. But clarity also requires honesty. You cannot create a powerful vision if you are lying to yourself about what you truly want. Too many people settle for visions that are small enough to please others, but not big enough to fulfill their own soul. Stop shrinking yourself to fit expectations. Stop lowering your vision to avoid discomfort. What do you truly want? What would your life look like if fear, doubt, and limitation no longer controlled you? That is the vision you must hold. That is the future worth fighting for. Do not wait until tomorrow to define it. Do not wait until life forces you into a corner. The longer you wait, the more days you trade for nothing. Decide now who you want to become, where you want to be, and how you want to live by the time 2026 arrives. Write it, speak it, see it daily until it burns in your mind. Let it guide your thoughts, shape your choices, and fuel your actions. Once you have clarity of vision, every day becomes purposeful. Every sacrifice makes sense. Every moment of discipline feels like an investment, not a loss. With vision, you no longer wander, you pursue. You no longer hesitate, you move. And once you begin to live with that kind of clarity, nothing can stop you because the future is already written in your heart. And all that's left is for you to rise into it. A vision without consistent action is nothing more than a dream. And dreams without action slowly turn into regrets. The difference between those who transform their lives and those who stay the same is not talent, not luck, not even intelligence. It is discipline. Discipline is the bridge between intention and reality. It is the silent power that takes your vision out of your imagination and builds it brick by brick into existence. If you want to change your life before 2026, you must master the art of discipline, because nothing will shape your destiny more than the actions you repeat daily. Discipline is not about force. It is not about punishing yourself or grinding endlessly until you burn out. True discipline is a deep alignment between who you want to be and how you choose to act. It is remembering your vision when excuses appear. It is holding yourself accountable when no one is watching. It is saying yes to growth and no to comfort in the smallest choices. Every morning you wake up, every meal you eat, every hour you spend, every thought you entertain. Your life is built on the sum of these decisions, and discipline is what makes them consistent. Most people fail not because they don't have dreams, but because they give in to distraction. The human brain is wired to seek comfort, to avoid effort, to conserve energy. But growth demands the opposite. It demands effort. It demands discomfort. It demands sacrifice. Discipline is the rewiring of your brain to choose long-term fulfillment over short-term relief. It is training yourself to act in alignment with your vision even when your emotions resist. The reward is freedom, the freedom to live the life you desire instead of being enslaved by impulses that keep you small. Discipline also builds confidence. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you strengthen the belief that you can be trusted. Every time you follow through when it would have been easier to quit, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than your excuses. This internal trust compounds. It turns into unshakable confidence that no external obstacle can break. And confidence built on discipline is more powerful than any motivational bursts, because it doesn't fade when circumstances get hard. It grows stronger. But discipline requires clarity. You cannot master discipline if you don't know what truly matters. That is why vision comes first, because vision makes discipline meaningful. You are not waking up early just for the sake of it. You are waking up early to become the person your vision demands. You are not saying no to distractions because you're rigid. You are saying no because your future is worth more than wasted hours. With vision guiding you, discipline stops feeling like deprivation and starts feeling like devotion. The truth is that discipline is freedom disguised as restriction. It frees you from the chaos of inconsistency. It frees you from the weight of regret. It frees you from living a life controlled by impulses and circumstances. Every disciplined act is a declaration of who you are becoming. Every time you choose consistency, you choose your future over your past. Imagine arriving at 2026 with the quiet power of knowing you stay consistent, that you didn't just dream but acted daily, that you built yourself step by step into someone unrecognizable from who you are today. That kind of transformation is not reserved for the gifted. It is reserved for the disciplined. And the moment you decide to live with that level of commitment, your life begins to change forever. Discipline creates the rhythm, but energy fuels the performance. Without energy, even the strongest commitment begins to weaken. You cannot build a powerful life in a weakened body or a restless mind. If you want to transform before 2026, you must treat your body, your mind, and your energy as sacred. They are the engines of your growth, the foundation of your focus, the core of your resilience. Every great achievement is built on the simple truth that energy determines execution. Think about how you feel when you are exhausted, when your body is heavy, when your mind is foggy. Even simple tasks feel overwhelming. The vision is still there, but the fuel is missing. Now think about how you feel when you are rested, nourished, and strong. The exact same challenges suddenly feel lighter, more possible, even exciting. That shift is not magic, it is energy. The quality of your energy determines the quality of your actions. And the quality of your actions determines the quality of your life. You must learn to manage energy, not just time. Hours mean little if you are drained, distracted, and scattered, but even fewer hours can create powerful results when your energy is sharp and focused. This means caring for your body as if it is the vessel of your future, 'cause it is. Move daily, not just to shape how you look, but to strengthen how you live. Eat to fuel clarity and vitality, not just to satisfy cravings. Rest not as a luxury, but as a strategy to sharpen your edge. These choices may seem small, but together they create unstoppable momentum. Your mind too demands care. Negative thoughts drain energy faster than any physical effort. Worry, doubt, and self-criticism are like leaks in the tank. You may be filling yourself with effort, but those leaks will empty you before you arrive. Protect your mental energy with the same intensity you protect your time. Train your mind to notice what is within your control, to let go of what is not, and to focus on what moves you forward. Feed it with books, ideas, and voices that strengthen belief instead of weaken it. Silence the noise that consumes attention and leaves you empty. A strong mind multiplies the strength of a strong body. Energy is also spiritual. It comes from alignment, from living in integrity, from knowing that your actions reflect your deeper values. When you live in contradiction, saying one thing, doing another, you feel drained, heavy, powerless. But when you live in truth, when your choices reflect your vision and your values, you feel light, powerful, and alive. This alignment creates a flow where energy seems endless. It is not about perfection, but about honesty. The more aligned you are, the more unstoppable your energy becomes. Protecting your energy will mean making hard decisions. You may have to step away from habits, foods, or even relationships that drain you. You may have to say no to things that look appealing in the moment but cost you deeply over time. You may have to build new rituals that feel uncomfortable at first, but eventually fuel every area of your life. Every sacrifice here is an investment because the energy you protect now becomes the fuel that carries you into the life you are building. Picture yourself stepping into 2026 with strength in your body, clarity in your mind, and power in your spirit. Imagine waking each day with the energy to act, the focus to build, and the resilience to overcome. That version of you is not a fantasy. It is the natural result of choices made daily. Choices that honor your energy as the foundation of everything you want to create. Guard it, grow it, and let it drive you forward into the life you were meant to live. Energy gives you strength, but growth requires courage. Without courage, your vision will remain locked inside your imagination. Without courage, discipline becomes routine without meaning. Without courage, energy is wasted on maintaining the safe and familiar. If you want to change your life before 2026, you must train yourself to act with courage, not just once in a while, but as a way of life. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is the decision to move forward despite fear. Fear will always be present when you step into something new. It will whisper that you are not ready, that you will fail, that others will judge you. These voices are not proof of weakness. They are proof that you are standing at the edge of growth. The most important choices of your life will always feel uncomfortable at first because transformation demands that you step into the unknown. Courage is the power to step even while shaking, to move even while uncertain, to speak even while your voice trembles. The brain is wired for safety. It is designed to protect you from risk, from rejection, from discomfort. But safety is also the enemy of growth. The longer you let fear guide you, the smaller your life becomes. Every time you avoid what scares you, fear grows stronger. But every time you face it, fear shrinks. Courage is like a muscle. It grows through use. The more you practice it, the stronger it becomes until what once terrified you becomes your new normal. Courage is not only about dramatic leaps, it is about small daily decisions. It is the courage to say no when others expect yes. The courage to speak truth when silence would be easier. The courage to take responsibility instead of making excuses. These choices may not seem like much, but together they build a character that cannot be broken. And when bigger moments come, when life calls you to step fully into your vision, you will already be ready because you have been practicing courage every day. Courage also unlocks authenticity. Fear convinces you to hide, to wear masks, to shrink so you are not judged. But masks are heavy, and living small is exhausting. Courage allows you to live honestly, to show up fully, to be seen as you are. And authenticity is powerful. It attracts the right people, opens the right doors, and gives you a freedom that no external success can replace. Courage is not only about what you achieve, it is about who you allow yourself to be. The reward of courage is growth, and the cost of avoiding it is regret. Regret is heavier than fear because regret cannot be undone. Fear passes once you act, but regret stays when you don't. Do not let fear steal years from you. Do not wait for courage to appear magically. Courage is created in the moment you decide that your vision matters more than your fear. Picture yourself in 2026 looking back at the choices you made. Do you want to remember hesitation or do you want to remember boldness? Do you want to see opportunities missed or do you want to see a life expanded by courage? The difference is decided in the moments when fear tries to stop you and you move forward anyway. That is the path to transformation. That is the path to freedom. And the moment you choose courage, your life begins to change forever. Courage opens the door, but consistency keeps you moving through it. Many people take bold steps once or twice, but then slip back into the old patterns that keep them stuck. Lasting transformation is not built on rare moments of bravery, but on daily alignment with your vision.